Hello people, and welcome to my channel. So today I am going to be doing a tutorial on this look right here. This is something that you have definitely already seen everywhere. It's got the burgundy and then it has the gold in the middle. I'm really happy with the way that it turned out. So yeah, if you want to see how I accomplished this look, then just keep watching. First we're going to start with eyeshadow primer, and it's from Hard Candy called Eyes the Limit. I'm just going to put this on both eyes. Okay, next I'm going to set the primer that I just put on my eyes with a neutral shadow. I'm using this color from the Becca Ombre Rouge palette. Doesn't need to be this one specifically. You can find this color pretty much anywhere. So just taking a Morphe M441 brush, which is one of their fluffier eye brushes, and just putting that on both my eyes. So first I'm going to start out with Tuscan Sun by Makeup Geek. So I'm doing like a halo eye, which I never do. And I'm going to take the Morphe M433 brush, a little bit more compact. And I'm still taking Tuscan Sun by Makeup Geek and putting that in the crease. And then I'm taking the Morphe M441 brush again to soften the edges. I'm going to start out with Makeup Forever M846, and I'm going to take the Morphe M433 brush. I'm going to pack that on the outer corner of my eye. So now I'm going to take the Morphe M321 brush. It's like this little bullet crease brush, and I'm going to put this same Makeup Forever red in the corners, and you're going to leave the center of your eye blank because we're going to put a different color there. Just use that same brush to connect them. You want to try and keep it off the center of the lid, so using smaller brush for that. In between every step I blend just to make sure that the edges look good. So I'm going back to the Morphe M441 brush, which is the fluffier brush, and it's always what I'm going to blend with. And I'm going to soften those edges. I'm using the Violet Voss Matte About You eyeshadow palette. And I'm going to go in with this color called Passion. And repeat the steps. Taking that M321 brush again, just like before, and packing that on in the corners. And then connecting in the crease. Blend it out. I am now going to take the Morphe Jaclyn Hill palette. I think that this color is called Jax in the palette. And it's that burgundy, that dark burgundy red right there. Sorry, not flipping you off. Right there. I'm just going to put one more layer of that Jax color. So now I'm going to take a MAC, I think it's a 239 brush. It's a flat shader brush. So for the lid color, I'm going to use another Jaclyn Hill color called Queen. That's this gold color right here. And I'm going to put that, pop that on the center I'm using the M441 fluffy brush, and I want to try and blend those edges. No, just kidding. Take the M433 brush and try to blend those edges. So I recently picked up this glitter from NYX. It's called Glitter Brilliance. GLI 05. I'll make sure to list it down below. And it just occurred to me that I have some glitter glue. Before you put this on, make sure to put on that glitter glue on top of the gold eyeshadow. And it's gonna help the glitter to stay where you want it instead of falling all over your face. Which is what this is gonna do because I didn't do that. I'm gonna use the black eyeshadow called Abyss in the Jaclyn Hill Morphe palette. I'm just going to stamp this along the top lash line. And this just helps to make your lash line look darker, more full in the end. And using eyeshadow is really easy, lazy way, because it's just so much easier to control than eyeliner. And I think it really makes more of a smoky look because it's not just this sharp ass line. And I'm going to use a makeup wipe, but we're gonna wipe away all that fallout. Now I'm gonna put on my mascara. I'm using the Stila Huge Extreme Lash Mascara in this gold tube here. Just putting a good coat of that just on the top lashes for now. Now I'm going to finish the top of this eye off camera and then we'll start on the face. Okay, so I finished the top portion of my eyes. I meant to do the lashes on camera, which didn't happen. I apologize. The lashes that I'm using are by Velour and they are in the style Take It and Go. Now we're gonna do the face. First I am going to put on my, you know, the stuff. Where's it called? This is the Veil Mineral Primer by Hourglass. So next I'm going to use the Tarte CC Under Eye Corrector. It's this salmony, orangey salmony color. This is what I use underneath my eyes for my dark circles, and I use them, I use it on the spots, the brown spots that I have on my face. The orange kind of cancels out the blue. You don't have to put this all over your under eye. Some people just have really dark circles at the very, very corner and at the very beginning, but mine are deep and dark the whole way through. So next I'm going to put on a foundation. It's the Tarte Amazonian Clay Full Coverage Foundation. I apply this with a damp Real Technique sponge. I like this as opposed to a brush because it presses it into my skin. Just when with a brush, it feels like there can be brush strokes. Hey! As I was saying, the brush just leaves these brush strokes on my face, and I feel like the foundation is like sitting on top of my skin rather than kind of melting into it, which is what I want. If you're oily, this is extremely nice to have. It gives you a matte look. Initially when you put it on, it may look kind of heavy, but after you've worn it for a minute, an hour, it might be what I mean by a minute, it looks a lot more natural on your skin. And this is in color Fairlight Honey. Doesn't quite match me. Doesn't seem any foundation does. So I take it down my neck so I don't end up with some sort of floating head. You know what I'm talking about? The orange floating heads, because you can see that line of demarcation from someone's jaw to their neck. And like, I'm very, very anal about it. Like, I don't want that to be me. I don't want it to be me. Bella! You're killing me, Smalls! So next I am going to put on my concealer. I use the Makeup Forever Ultra HD concealer. I'm using color R30. So because I put foundation all over my face, I'm not going to put a heavy duty amount of this on. I just like to have just a little bit of an extra coat to cover up those dark circles. And I don't slather a ton on, but I do the triangle method, because you bring it down further and it doesn't just stop right there and there's going to be this definite eye circles face. Next, I am actually going to use a different setting powder than normal. I usually use the RCMA powder, but I got the Tarte Smooth Operator Amazonian Clay Finishing Powder in my Ipsy bag. I put the powder again on my damp Real Technique sponge, and I put that all on the perimeter of my face, and I press that in. This is the e.l.f. Under Eye Setting Powder, I believe it's called. And I have it in this little Laura Mercier container. I used to use the Laura Mercier powder before I found out about the e.l.f. powder, actually from Kathleen Lights. And she's like, it's the same exact thing. Exact same. And she was exactly right. The e.l.f. powder is like $3 as opposed to the Laura Mercier powder that's like 20 something dollars. I'm going to fill in my sad eyebrows. I'm using the Loreal Brow Stylist Definer, and I'm using it in dark blonde. Okay, so I have you closer so that you can see the under eye procedure a little better. So basically all we're going to do is use all of the same colors we did in the crease. We're going to put those in the under eye. I'm going to be using the Sigma Flat Definer E15 brush again that we used on the top of the eyelid. So this first color that I used is the first color we used in the crease, which is Makeup Geek's Tuscan Sun. Next, I'm going to go in with Makeup Forever's M846, which was the second color we used. And we are now going to put that on the under eye. Next, we are going to go back to the Violet Voss Matte About You palette. We're going to go back to that color we used called Passion and put that in the other eye. And then last but not least, we're going to go in with that last color in the Jaclyn Hill palette called Jax. Burgundy right here. So then once I have all of the colors on the under eye that I want, I blend it out. I use the Morphe E18 brush. It's this little rounded dome brush. This is actually something I found out about from Jaclyn Hill in one of her brush reviews, and I really like it for blending out the under eye. So I'm going to use something a little smaller to apply the gold pigment and the gold shadow at the bottom. This is the Morphe M213 brush. It's this cute little tiny thing right here. And we're going to go back in with that shade called Queen in the Jaclyn Hill palette. And we're going to pop that right in the center. We're going to also put that glitter. You are definitely going to want to put on some of that glitter glue, because that glitter, a bunch of glitter from on top has already fallen off onto my face. Like, you know, you can just see the sparkle somewhere. You're not sure where it is. So take that NYX glitter again. Okay, so now I'm going to put on black eyeliner on the bottom waterline and the top waterline. I'm using the Marc Jacobs eyeliner. And now we're going to tight line, which looks gross. This really makes your lash line look very thick and black, which is what I like. I'm going to take the Jaclyn Hill palette again, and I'm going to use the color Beam. This one right here. And I'm going to use that to highlight my brow bone. I'm just using some sort of flat tip brush, like any, you don't really need a special brush for this. I'm going to take that NYX glitter, and again, put glitter glue on the corner of your eye before you do this if you want it to stay even a little bit. And I'm going to take that tiny little Morphe M213 brush, and I'm going to pop that, dab it in the corner. Ooh, that's pretty. Okay, so I'm going to finish this other eye off camera, and we're going to get back to the face and finish that up. Okay, so we are done with the eyes. So now we're going to finish up the face. I use the Amazonian Clay Matte Waterproof Bronzer in Park Avenue Princess. If you have oily skin, it really does seem to hold up a lot better than other bronzers that I have used in the past. I am using the Morphe E53 brush to do the bronzing on my face, and I'm going to go along the perimeter of my face. So we just want everything to look sun-kissed. You don't want to put bronzer on your face like you do powder, because that's going to look really weird. If you have a tiny cute forehead, you don't need to be putting this much on your forehead. Some people will say you don't need to be putting any bronzer on your forehead at all if you have a tiny forehead. I don't know if I agree with that. I think that I would put at least a tiny bit just to kind of even everything out. I think it may look a little weird if you have bronzer everywhere else on your face and then there's just nothing on your forehead. I don't do any harsh contouring because I have a skinny face as it is. And the older you get, the softer you want things to look, really. I can do a contour, and if you guys want to see me do a contour, I will gladly do it. It's meant to just put the depth back into my face, color back into my face, because I'm so pale and pasty. I'm kind of doing that C or 3 shape, the C3PO. You go from your temple, your forehead, your temple, come in to your cheek. I put a little bit on my ear so I don't have these white ears standing out against the rest of my face. It's bronzed. And then I go along my jawline. And then I put some on the sides of my nose. So again, I bring this down my neck because we don't want the floating head. Bronzer's done. So next we're going to do blush. I'm going to use the MAC blush. It's called Mocha, I think is what I see. It's this very pretty purple. It looks really dark, but it doesn't show up on my face like bam, like a clown, which I don't want. I never want to look like a clown. Never look like a clown. And I use this big angled Morphe brush. I've taken off, or I've worn off the numbers on it, so I don't know which number it is. But it looks like this. Every time I do makeup on a friend and I tell them, do the smiling duck face, they laugh. It's really hard to do someone's makeup while they're laughing. But it's the face that I need to accomplish the goal. For highlighter, I am going to use the Becca Champaign Pop. For highlighting my cheeks, I use the Morphe M501 brush. This little guy right here. So just sweep that on the high points here. And I kind of go around the temple area then I'm going to take this brush. It's a Luxie 249 brush, double-sided. I got this in an Ipsy bag as well. And I'm going to use this flat pointed side, and I'm going to dip that in the powder of a highlighter that I have. And I'm going to highlight the center of my nose. I press very lightly. I don't want it to be like this definite strip. Just, no. And then the Cupid's bow. For lips, I'm going to put on nude colors. This is actually not a color that exists anymore, or at least not this type. It's from Makeup Forever, and it's the Rouge Artist Intense number 22. I do think maybe they do have a color like this, but it's just called something different. I heard a YouTuber call these like dead girl lips, and she's right. They're totally dead girl lips. But I don't want anything taking attention from my eyes, so I kind of just like to blank my lips out. I'm going to layer it with the Marc Jacobs Enamored High Shine Lip Lacquer in Sugar Sugar. It's a pale nude, and it's got little flecks of glitter in it, and I really like it. I like this formula of freaking pip holes, dude. Just like got Mama and Papa Bear when I'm all by myself. So we are all done with the face as far as makeup goes. And next I'm going to use the Urban Decay De-Slick Makeup Setting Spray Oil Control. These right here. And then something else that I got from Kathleen Lights is get this fan, and I dry my face with it because it's awesome. I will be right back after I fix this wonderful thing on my head. Alright guys, so this is the finished look. I hope that you enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, give it a thumbs up, subscribe down below, and I will see you in my next video.